Hey guys, Tim here with Geeked Up Gaming. We're going to bring you a review and a sneak peek of Transylvania, Curses and Traitors. So let's go ahead and show you the box and show you all the components that are coming inside of it. Okay, so this is what's going to come in the game. It's not going to look like this when it's a final copy. Right now everything's just in baggies as the prototype. The rulebook, I'm guessing they're going to do a cover page like with all the artwork and stuff on it. I've got a few pieces of the artwork here with gloss facings. That's the detailed stuff. So this is really detailed, glossy, and I believe these are the final images that will be for the zombie, vampire, and the werewolf, the characters that you turn into, either by choice or by force. And then here's images of your attack and your how many spaces you can move, the health, like a mind, I think is what it was, and then spirit. And that's the artwork on that. So I'm thinking that they may be putting something like that or doing a high gloss of the box cover on the rulebook. I don't know for sure. They're finalizing everything before it hits Kickstarter May 1st. But anyways, the rulebook is laid out really well. Everything is really easy to read. I only had to read through it one time. We did have to go back and figure some stuff out. But as far as the rulebook goes, they did really well with it. And then these like little blue boxes kind of narrow it down. So instead of having to read everything in the book, you can like hit these, and these are like your key points in the blue boxes. And then they give you a picture diagram of how the tiles work, how your character sheets work, or your character tile, because they're all the same material. I'll show you guys some of the card artwork. That was some of the stuff that we watched develop over time. We've actually watched this whole game develop over time. So being able to do this review was really exciting. You know, watching it for the past, what, 8 months or so. I don't know how long it was. I know it was like the beginning of winter. And we're now getting into spring, but it doesn't feel like it was snowing today. So, and the way that they did this, it was nice because here's all the basic rules and for your adventurers and everything else. And then when you turn into a monster, you know, they made a whole separate rule book for that, so that you're not having to go through this standard rule book and trying to find out, well, what's my monster do? And then they have little like cheat sheet cards that are part of the event deck, or at least that's where they were at with this. And I can show you that real quick and show you some of the artwork on the event deck. So, like right here is a how to win card. You collect all the knowledge tokens or a wild token, but you have to have at least 5. And you have to have at least 1 of each of these. So as long as you have 1 red, 1 purple, 1 green, or 1 wild, out of those 4, then you will be able to win by going back to the church and claiming for the curse. And then on the flip side is your turn order as an adventurer. And then the characters, the werewolf, the vampire, and the zombie, they play differently when you turn into them, either by choice or forced. So they have separate cards, so you can just pull that one card and you'll know exactly how that character works, instead of having to have the rule book right next to you. And then down here in the bottom, it's their special abilities and then their standard abilities. And then same thing with the vampire and werewolf. And the card quality that we got for a prototype is really well done. It's got glossy finishes, and they're strong cards. They're not weak or anything, so that's kind of nice. And then we have the character cards, and you know, here's like the secret agent, which is a really popular one that floats around Facebook. I could be wrong, but I'm guessing that this is Jamie Cunningham as the character. And then we have, let me show you the inventor. Here's the inventor. I think kind of looks like Lauren Cunningham, which those are the creators of the game. So we have the secret agent, the inventor, and then we had some blank characters that they're still designing. But they're still, for the prototype, if you have a bunch of players, you can still use these. And then when you turn into like the vampire, you're gonna have a separate card. So there's a vampire card. And then there's the zombie card. And then the werewolf. And then the rest of these, they don't have any character art yet, but they will soon enough. Definitely before Kickstarter comes around. I was going to show you some of the event cards and some of the artwork that's in these. This one's a wraith, so it's got like a kind of like a Grim Reaper, except for this guy still got his skin on his face. And each of these event cards will have their own thing. Like here's an earthquake, and I would go through all of these, but there's a lot of cards. So let me see if I can pull. Let me pull one that looks, I thought was pretty good. I mean, they're also all the artwork is amazing in these cards. There's a few that I like over the others, but not one of these cards has any terrible artwork. I think that's the first game that I've been able to look at every card and be like, yeah, that's good. Okay, so like this card, Inspiration, I thought that was an awesome design for the word inspiration. You know, just like a spirit or an orb, or it could be a galaxy with multiple colors. It could be multiple different things that they were trying to capture in that, but inspiration was definitely a good word for, or that image was a good image for that word. Then they have like a Revenge of Dracula and like spiders, moons, blessings, old skull, but like all these cards flow together, all the artwork, you can tell that it's the same artist. We just played the game, and this card, I don't like that card. Like, I don't want to think about black worms infesting my body, you know, the Black Death. I think maybe I've got some kind of phobia of night crawlers or something. But, you know, whatever. But that card came out and kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies, but I guess that's what it's designed for. Okay, so then we got some of these tokens. These are the blood splatter tokens. So you guys see the blood splatter and the number 4. I don't remember what the quantities of the 4 are. Here's the zombie token, and it goes along with the figurine, and we'll show you that here in a second. So those are the blood splatter tokens. They're all the same blood splatter, they're just numbered different: 5, 2s, 1s, 3s, 4s, all of that. And then here's these are the sliders. I don't know if this is going to be the final in the final game, but it definitely works. It's very operable, and that'll go on the bottom of your card. A little clip goes down here in the bottom. You start here at 6, and then either gain health or lose health, and it just slides up and down the card. So it's a pretty simple idea, and it works. And then you have, these are the dice. I should probably do all tokens and then come to dice, but we'll just skip around. So the dice are numbered for 1, 2, and 3, if I can get to rotate correctly. And then the wolves, that will equal 0. Those are takeaways. So if you're trying to roll for what I'm going to call a check, so when you come up to a quest token, you flip the token over, you make your check with your dice roll, your attribute will depict on how many dice you roll, and then those wolves will be 0. And it's kind of a good idea because wolves are more takers than they are givers. And we have tokens that will lock parts of the map. We'll lock gateways to portal over to other parts of the map. And you can see the little silver lock on there with the footprint. Those are the silver ones. Those are the ones you can walk over, but if you don't have a key, you can't unlock it. The gold ones, you have to have a key. You cannot go over it. You can't walk through it. You can't go around it. or anything of that sort, unless there's a path obviously going around the lock, but most likely there isn't, so good luck. And then we have tokens. I think there's supposed to be a lot more of these, so that when you boost your attributes, these tokens will be put on there. Our first time playing, we didn't really boost our attributes, but like this one would boost your spirit. Or you can use it as a takeaway counter when you have a card that takes away certain powers and stuff. And there's ones for attack, the mind roll, the spirit, stuff like that. And then these, there's a lot of these because every time a tile comes out, these tokens are going to go on the tiles. So here's the cog, which is going to be facing up when you place it. And then when you go to do your, when you land on it, you flip it over, it's got a 4, you'll do your check. You'll roll, like say if I have this spirit of 4, I'm going to roll with this character, the Abyss, which is actually the character I just played a few minutes ago. He'll have the 5, so you'll roll 5 dice to do that check. And just because you have 5 dice doesn't mean you're going to make this 4 check. I know Anna, she had a character that had high roll dice counts and wasn't clearing a whole lot of the tokens to get the quest card. But if you do clear the token and you do make the check, then you will get a quest card. So let's go ahead and look through some of these quest cards. And it's not a quest card of a value and then you go through here and pick it. It'll just be a deck, and then when you make your check, you'll just draw one off the top. Or if you have a card, I know Anna had a card, it was the Tarot Reader, or the Gypsy Reader, something like that. Tarot cards, where she could pull, any time that she drew, she would get to pull 3, choose one, and then stack the other 2 how she wanted on top of the quest deck. So here's the back of the quest deck. It says quest. And after I show you a few of these cards, I'm going to say something that has nothing to do with how the game's designed. It's just something that I'm stupid about. Is that when I was looking at this card, I thought that Q would be the top of the card when you flip it over. It's not. It's the T. The T is the top. I don't know. It's just something stupid that I was looking at. But that's just me. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just being anal about it. And Anna told me to quit trying to break these games because I'm always trying to find something's wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with this game. It's just me. The game is fantastic. Plays well. It's easy to learn. I mean, if I'm playing it, it plays easy, right? I mean, if I learn how to play it. Just kidding. This is a wooden stake. So obviously this is probably going to help you with a vampire. So description on the bottom. Yes, I see the word vampire there. So there you go. And the artwork that they did, the glowing around the tools, I really like that. Like it accents the tools. It makes them look like they're, you know, I don't know, like have some special power behind them. And maybe I'm just being whatever, but I like it. And then we have like a crucifix, you know, with the glowing yellow around it. And this gives you a description at the bottom. So all these cards will tell you what's going on. I'll give you an example of how the knowledge cards work real quick. So say if you have the knowledge cards, you can use these 3. And that will be the 3 that you need, as in different colors. And then once you get your 4th and your 5th knowledge card, you go back to the church and you can claim the winning of the game, that you've fixed the curse. You're not trying to solve all 3 curses, the vampire, werewolf, and what the third one was, vampire, zombie, werewolf. You're not trying to solve all 3 individually. You're going to solve the whole thing all together. There's a lot of, I keep talking about this artwork, but I just can't get over it, I'm sorry. But, like, here's 3 cards. The 2 of them got the glowing around them. The ring really doesn't need the glowing around them, considering it's sparkling. So, it's kind of nice. But everything art-wise flows through the whole game. Like, you can tell that it all just kind of goes together, from the cards to the tiles, to all the other stuff. These figurines, I don't know if, I think they may just be for props for prototype. I don't know if they're going to come with the final game. I'm not 100% sure, but like here we have a wolf, and we have a zombie, and then a vampire. I don't know if those are going to come with the final game, but it's kind of neat. The tokens that I think will come with the game are just these little people figurines. It looks like a torso, a head, and some arms. Apparently we don't have any legs, so when the monsters come out you can't run away. That's just a joke, you can run away. Anyways. Alright, let's get to the tiles. This is the biggest piece of the game. Let me show you the starting tile. Of course, when you go to look for something, it's going to be the last piece in the whole stack. So let's just... Anyway, well, you know. Okay, so church. Church is the only one that's double-sided. You have this side. This side. It's the same thing on both sides. It doesn't matter how you place it, whatever. It doesn't have to be facing any certain way or direction or anything like that. So that's the church tile. You can see the church there, and it is labeled church. All the tiles are labeled. So when a card says portal to this tile, blah blah blah, it'll be labeled. So like this one's labeled Dark Forest. And watching these pieces develop over time was an amazing thing to watch. To have the pieces in my hand is really cool. So you can see, like I was saying, that the artwork flows through all the pieces. There's not one piece in here that is missing anything. They don't have any pieces. As far as the tiles go, all the tiles look like they're finished. They may be using different material to finalize these. They may do a gloss finish, they may do a matte finish. The way that these are made works. I mean, the edges are a little rough, but I mean, this would definitely do its justice. Where it looks like it's, you know, just a basic PDF file and then just put it on a board piece. But I mean, as far as that goes, the tiles look almost finished and completed. And the cards, same thing there. This would be a good quality. Wouldn't bother me at all if that's the way that they kept those cards. Pieces of Transylvania. I would really like to touch base on how you play the game. I've already shipped the game back to Lauren and Jamie, so we're going to do this without pieces. Some of the tiles that I showed you with the gold cogs on there with the silver locks, you'll place your tokens on there, your quest tokens, which are the pogs with the silver cog will go on each of those gold ones to populate the tile. And then what you're doing as an adventurer is going through those tiles, and when you are getting ready to exit a tile, a new tile will be placed in its slot. And then you'll continue your turn on that slot after populating it with all the tokens and whatnot. When you come through the path, and the footprints will represent one space movement. Every time you hit one of the cogs, you'll flip it over, you'll see what that trait is, and then you'll look at your character card, see if it's a spirit check 4, and your spirit is 5, you'll roll the 5 dice like we said before when we were showing the materials. And if you get that check, then you get to take that pog or that coin off the map, put it back in the bag, and draw a quest card. And then when you use that quest card, it'll either be a knowledge card, and you'll collect 5 of those, at least 1 of every type, and then the other 2 can be whatever they want, or you can have 2 that you need and then a wild, and then the others can be whatever they are. As long as you have the 3 basics, red, purple, green, those 3 for knowledge. Then you go back to the church and you can win by solving the curse. If you have any transformation cards that would transform you into a monster, you cannot win. Then you will then become a monster, and then your goal is to wipe out the other characters, while the other characters now have 2 options of winning. They will either kill you as the monster, and then or go to the church and solve the curse. So that's a basic breakdown of how it's going to be played, what your goals are. Those are the 2 ways that I played it. There is a 3rd goal, but as I said, I sent the game back, so I don't have what the 3rd way to win was. But I do know it's through knowledge, transformation. You know, either that must be the 3rd way. You can either win by being the creature, monster, and killing the adventurers, or one of the adventurers kills a monster. When the monster's killed, the game immediately ends. If you kill one adventurer, then that adventurer is going to either come back as an adventurer or a monster, and then those 2 are going to go for the adventurer. So there's a lot of back and forth, could be confusing at times, but if you just take each person's turn, you know, let them, you know, take their turns, and the turns don't go, they can go quickly once you've played it a couple times. The first time you're going to play, you're probably going to take a couple of minutes to, you know, figure out what you're going to do. But it's not one of those really think about it a whole lot type of games. It's one of those, you know, you draw your card, do what your cards say, just go through your actions on the card through your player's turn, and it's pretty quick. Like I said, this game is really easy to learn. It's easy to play. It's really well designed and proportioned. It's not like not one tile is really clustered and another tile is empty. All the tiles are pretty even on what they have. The little E's that I didn't explain earlier, the E's on the tiles are events. So when you land on one of those, from the way that we were playing it, which maybe I did that wrong, but the E's are events. So when you land on that, and it could either be with a cog or without a cog, you draw an event card, read the event card, and then the event card will tell you what to do. Some of the cards are activated inside of the church tile. We had one where if you were a monster, you didn't take any damage in the church tile, where originally when you go into the church tile, you'll take 2 damage. This one, it nullified the damage, so I could go, you know, wherever, but I couldn't end my turn in the church tile. As far as the basic rules went. So the take damage went away, but I still couldn't end my turn in there. So I would have to enter, go over to the tile to the right, and then re-enter, and then come through the church tile. So it took me twice as long to get to Anna, but I wasn't paying attention because she had a necklace that let me portal over to her, and so I was able to just take my guy and go straight over to her. That was when we were playing 2-player. We then realized, because as soon as I got there I killed her, that the game would have ended. That's the reason you don't play it with 2 players, because she would have technically came back as a monster, or in some cases another adventurer. So with that being said, don't try to play it 2-player. Also, don't try to play it D&D. It's not, if someone in front of you is picking up all the pieces and you're trying to D&D style it and come in behind them, it's not going to work that way. Lauren had let me know, don't play it that way, and when we started playing it, it's obvious that you don't play it as a team game, because you're trying to figure out the curse yourself. You're not trying to help each other figure out the curse. So if you're following another person, you're not doing anybody any favors. I mean, you can, the only reason I would follow somebody is if I already have on my monster cards and I don't want them to know I'm a monster yet, and then I get close and then I pop the cards and then I'm like, hey, I'm a monster, and I start attacking you. What's kind of cool is that you can take your turn as your adventurer, and then if you turn into a monster, you take another turn as a monster, which I thought was kind of cool. That might feel a little OP, but I think that it works really well. I think that's a lot different than being able to turn into something and then having to wait a full turn for everyone to run away and then, you know, whatever. So revealing that you're a monster, you can keep it incognito and then just pop up out of nowhere and be like, "Ooh, I'm a werewolf," and I'm gonna, you know, slice your neck up, or whatever. And that was probably a little violent and a little gruesome, you know. I'll slice your neck up with my blades on my fingers. Obviously it's claws, it's not blades on fingers, you know, we're not Freddy Krueger on a raft or anything. Yeah, so that's the basics of how to play the game. That was a little scenario of how we played. So, guess we'll just go on to our conclusion. Hey guys, so we showed you guys all the artwork. I think at least I think I showed you all the artwork. Sorry if I missed a couple pieces here or there. But this is definitely a great game. I've already played through it about 4 or 5 times and I've only had it like 3 days. We played it 2-player. It can work, I guess, kind of, if you just kind of flow with it and use the rules as more guidelines. But it's definitely not a 2-player game. It is a 3-player game. When we got to the end, or what became the end, because we were playing 2-player, we realized this is why it can't be 2 players. So definitely a 3 to 6 player game. I mean, there's so much stuff that I could probably say about the game, but I don't really have to. It kind of speaks for itself. It's, you know, it's easy to learn, fun to play. Lauren and Jamie, they're really easy to talk to. I talk to them personally over the phone, text, emails, Facebook, all that stuff. If you guys want to look at what the game started as, you can check it out on Facebook. You can go through their images. They've got stuff from prototype, like, you know, day 1 all the way up to what they're at now. You know, a lot of us had voted on what characters should be called what names, stuff like that. So they've really taken in a lot of feedback from fans that are really excited to play the game. So it's been really nice to see what the fans want, what other reviewers have seen, you know, stuff like that. You can see all that on Facebook and Twitter. They just recently joined Instagram, so we'll probably see some pictures and updates on there also as well. Anything that we hear, we will also pass along, so you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. You can just Google our name, we're all over the place. So just find one of our accounts and you'll probably see some stuff about Transylvania. Curses and Traitors by Jamie and Lauren Cunningham. And you can find them on Facebook through their names. So hopefully, Lauren, Jamie, I apologize. So if a bunch of people try and friend request you, my bad. So I'm Tim with Geeked Up Gaming, and this is Transylvania, Curses and Traitors.